be passionate about what you're doing. It's not always about money. It's about really just pushing and pushing, putting in the extra hours, and it will materialize afterwards.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Sessions, a video podcast brought to you by Pro Studio, where we discuss an entrepreneur's business life and while we edit, some social media as well. So, hey guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of Sessions. Today, we're joined by Oye Productions, a Namibian-based creative studio run by the beautiful and most talented Nessy. Welcome to the show, Nessy. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Lekker, lekker, lekker. No, I'm good.
Yeah.
Had a crazy night, didn't sleep so much.
Great to be here.
Thanks for finally having you on. Nessy, I want to get right away into it. We already had a coffee, chatted a bit. I wanted to start chatting a bit about your background, your history, 10-minute bio about who are you, who's Nessy as a person, how did you start out as a creative studio, a photographer. Tell us a bit about your background, who you are, and give me a sweet story.
All right. My name is Nessy Hilifilwa, founder and owner of Oye Creative Studio. Mm-hmm. I'm all creative, specializing in commercial photography. Yeah, that's.
And you're based in Namibia, obviously, or based in Windhoek?
I'm based in Windhoek.
You last told me you moved a bit around, so your home is based somewhere else, but
I live in Okanja right now, so I commute every day to Windhoek. So yeah.
Crazy, I have a lot of respect for that. I would not take on that challenge. But you're based there, and then obviously you work every day in Windhoek, so you commute every morning.
I've got an office in Windhoek, so I commute every day. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about what you basically do, as you said commercial work now, but maybe give us an insight a bit more what commercial photography you are doing.
So at Oye Creative Studio, we do graphic design. Mm-hmm. We do commercial photography. That's photography for advertising campaigns. I work a lot with advertising agencies. Do a lot of corporate headshots, and I do events as well. So, and then once in a while I do.
That's also
wedding.
how we met. You do you book the studio quite a lot.
Yeah.
So do. I see you do a lot of corporate headshots. Yeah. But it's not just the small companies. I can see you work already with really big corporate companies. Also, the way you work, super professional. I have to say this.
Thank you.
And your work is out of this world, if I may say it.
Oh, thank you, man.
I actually want to chat a bit about how did you get into the photography world. So maybe you can give us a bit of a background. You told me once that you did work with Tony, or tell me a bit more. How did you start out? Like at one point you had no idea about photography. How did you get into photography?
I'll take it back to when I was in high school. My dad had this, those Kodak film cameras. I used to play around with it, I'm very into techie stuff. So at school, in high school, I also used to run like an internet cafe type of thing.
Was that in the college? In the school itself?
In the school itself. I think it was grade 11, grade 12.
Was that so the facilities was from the school itself?
Yeah, it was
and
from
you were
the
just
school.
the guy running the show?
It was from the school. So
interesting.
So I used to be the guy who runs the internet cafe at school and stuff. So
did it have a certain name?
No, I didn't.
Was that like the internet cafe run by Nessy or Nessy's cafe or so?
It was just the school.
Internet cafe.
It was just the school's internet cafe, so I used to run that. So
cool.
I was very fascinated by computers, and after I finished my high school, I applied for a creative new media studies at the College of the Arts.
Okay.
And initially, I wanted to do graphic design or web design in those lines, something to do with computers.
Yeah. That was always the thought. Computers.
I was looking into computer science, but then I thought I'm more into software type of thing. Played around with music softwares. Played around with Fruity Loop.
Okay, Fruity Loop, I still remember it. Fruity Loop was quite going around. Everyone used to play around. It was
quite popular. I played around with it, and then...
was it still in the age where you're trying to find your feet? Should you become a musician? Should you do beats on Fruity Loops? Should you become an IT guy, graphic design?
I literally had a computer where it was a scrap open with everything, so trying to build it together, back then we couldn't afford computers and stuff, so we had to build it from scratch and play around with softwares, and that's how I got into Photoshop, started playing around with it, and then ended up at the College of the Arts studying New Media Studies. I did a 3-year course there, completely loved it. I did, I think it was layout and design, and then photography as well at the same time.
Yeah.
So both go hand in hand. And then there was
I think
a lecturer of mine that used to work at Saatchi and Saatchi back then.
okay.
So
At the College of the Arts.
at the College of the Arts.
He would just come in part time.
Yeah, he was coming in part-time, and then he saw an interest in me in how I was committed to
do photography.
to do photography and design. And he's actually the one that introduced me to Tony Figuera.
Okay.
So Tony Figuera was looking for someone to just, touch up his images and assist him around the studio.
Yeah.
So the guy told me that there's a youngster that's a bit bright and maybe. So I went to go see him, and it was more or less like a 3 months basis that I went to.
Was it love on first sight, or was he first like, who's this guy? Okay, you can come on Tuesday. I'll check a bit with you if you understand softboxes already.
But I was excited to see gear and stuff.
Yeah.
Saw cameras that I have never touched before. Saw lighting that I haven't touched before. But I wasn't allowed at that side of the studio at the moment, so I was just, helping.
Yeah, you were
him.
new to the studio, obviously.
Just touching up some images for him. And then Tony Figuera started showing me on how to set up his set before he comes to do a shoot.
Yes.
And then that's how I got into photography, for instance. And he started showing me how to set up a set for him, how to do the lighting and stuff. So I literally learned a lot.
How long has that time period been?
Working for him.
Yeah, and also from College of the Arts, I guess that was then in your late 20s, then finished College of the Arts, and moved to Tony, and then did you assist just for a year, a few months?
Initially, it was supposed to be for 3 months, and then it went on to a year, and then I was like, I got a contract for a longer period, so I started just doing layout and design work for him as well, and then doing some image editing for him. And then later on, I started getting to do some smaller photo shoots for him. So that's how it really started, and that's how I really got into the photography business.
Actually, very interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, want to touch base still on your father that had the camera that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So was that also from a childhood that you already realized you have an eye for it, or did you maybe steal it off the shelf, put a no film, and just shoot
it was one
around?
of those things that are in his room, and I just started playing with it,
Were you first allowed to play, or was he like, don't touch my camera?
I just took it, man.
There is a bit of rebel in you.
I just took it, and then at school, I was the guy with the camera, took some shots, and then did a few printouts, and then I was like, okay, this is quite fun,
Yeah.
As I started working for Tony, and I figured I need to get myself a camera, so that I can just pursue this and upgrade my skill on photography.
Actually, on that note, that's my next question. How did you fund your first camera? Or you worked at Tony, that was paid for, right? So it was not just for free. Did you in the beginning, the first 3 months, work for free and then only got a contract? So to prove yourself a bit?
Yeah, it was, you literally get like transport money, for instance. For first 3 months. And then after a year, and then I started getting a salary. It was $1,000 back then. It's a lot of money for me.
Yeah,
I could buy myself some sneakers and stuff like that. So it was cool,
Okay, yeah.
And then as the time went on, I started thinking of investing in a camera, but I couldn't afford it at the time. So Tony had a D70, his first camera, and then he said, "You could pay this off." And then
that's actually not very nice from him.
I was so excited about it, to own my own camera that I can take home and just go practice and practice and practice.
Yeah.
It was really cool. Yeah.
Okay, so you basically did it like that. So
Yeah.
you worked at Tony's
Yeah,
studio,
yeah.
made a bit of money. You had your first camera.
Yeah.
Tell me then further. Obviously, you had the you were able to play with all the big toys, the gear that Tony owned. So you knew where you wanted to go to, I guess.
Yeah.
Was there still side hustle? Like you maybe did, I don't know, work for Mr. Delivery as a side hustle or KFC job, or did you wait somewhere to make some extra pounds? Like,
So when I was in college, when I was in college, my father passed away when I was in grade 11.
okay.
My mother was a housewife. I have 4 brothers that were taking care of us. And then I think right after high school or before, I got a daughter. So that motivated me to either get a job and still have to fund for my studies. So I had to get a side hustle job. Funny enough, I used to work for Womanbrok.
Womanbrok, okay.
I used to mop floors in Womanbrok.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how I funded for my studies at the College of the Arts. Yeah.
Crazy. So you would be the guy down the aisle mopping around. Crazy, but that's interesting
Yeah.
to see where you started
Yeah.
out. Tell me, from progressing from that, obviously you had to fund a bit more gear. So was that just a side hustle for quite a period until you were able to purchase a bit more higher end gear? Or was there more opportunity that Tony said, okay, I trust you now. I know you a bit more. You've been working here for a while. Do you want to take on bigger shoots? How did you get to the next level in the photography career? I mean, there's a lot of room where you know, as a hobbyist, as a serious hobbyist, work where you just have a camera, but you've no strobes yet, no lights.
Yeah.
How did you progress from there, obviously further and higher?
So the advantage for me working at Studio 77 at Tony's studio was I got a chance and opportunity to meet a lot of people there. From the shoots that he couldn't do, would ask me if I would like to do it, especially on weekends and stuff. And I had a lot of free time. So through that, I was able to do events, smaller events, of course. I met a lot of Namibian musicians that would come into the studio. So they would ask me if I would like to photograph their CD launch and stuff like that, and their parties, of course. So that's really how I got into the industry. And I started doing a lot of that, like a side hustle. And then I started saving up. From there onwards, I got a lot of networks, started doing a lot of side hustles on the side.
Was it then also, so to say, more the word of mouth and connections that you built to kind of get you to the first jobs, actually? I know we chatted before once where you said to me also you first ventured then into the music industry, you know, like, so you were shooting album covers and you kind of slipped into the music industry first before you even went into corporate.
Yes. So
sorry to interrupt, is that still a thing you do now, or did it venture completely further?
not really. So the beauty of being at the studio was I got a chance to meet a lot of these Namibian musicians there. So with that, I was doing a lot of post-production for them. So I started playing around with their images. As a designer, also started creating album artworks for them.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting because you do have a graphic design side as well.
So I started doing album covers for like the Gazas, the Dogs, and then
that was still, how many years back is that? 10 years?
It's like 10 years ago.
So I guess at that time people were still like, okay, quickly do my cover. It's for free, right? So I wonder even if people paid for that back then.
No, not really. I just wanted to get my name out there for people to know what I can do. I'm not just an image editor. I can actually do design work and do photography as well. So that's how I got into the industry.
Actually, on that, I actually have a follow-up question on that. Your mindset is interesting for me. Like, you would rather work for free and get your name out there. That's an option for you instead of rather say, no, I want to get paid for every single thing I do, even from the start. So your mindset was always, let me do this for free. My name will grow and I will get some exposure, word of mouth, and I will get the next job. Is that something you live by?
Yeah. I like my work to speak for me in a way. I don't... doing something it's like pitching, for instance. You create a concept, not knowing that you'll be paid for it. just to build a portfolio, for instance.
Yes. Yes.
So that's how I used to do it. I would do something for free to build my portfolio to get bigger clients from that,
Yes.
to show the capabilities of what I can do. So still now, I still do creative concepts and pitches for free, but then obviously hoping that I would get bigger jobs
Out of
from
it. Yeah.
from that. Yeah.
Cool. I love that mindset,
Yeah.
actually, Nessy, because some other photographers just have this mindset of, I need to get paid for every single thing because I'm special, or my ego is bigger than my photography work. So interesting on that. Actually, I have another question in regards to not issues, but like frustrations you have in the photography industry, or what challenges do you actually see within in the Namibian photography industry? I'm not asking here now for your ranting frustrations, but maybe you can just give me a pointer, one or two things that you noticed.
I've noticed with Namibian creatives, we tend to have our own little corners. We don't kind of work together. We don't collaborate much enough. I could be a photographer in commercial. You could be a photographer in let's say
Car photography or weddings or whatever.
weddings or whatever. But we don't come together collectively to execute one concept, because everyone, I think, they're just trying to survive. But I feel like if we work and collaborate much together, we can do much more.
Much more, yeah. I agree fully with you.
Yeah.
Is that something you see across the board, or is it just, I think it's across the board.
It is. It is.
Tell me in regards to clients, is there also something where you realized agencies that book you, leave you hanging, certain clients that don't pitch up to your shoot on time? Is that a thing in the photography industry? And should you, my question is, if you're a photographer, this is the industry, so just live with it or give up right away from the start?
Sometimes clients will disappoint you. They won't pitch up. It's respect to the art that we do, what we do. If it's an individual thing, it's not. I don't think it's a industry thing or it's a corporation thing. It's just a point of respect in the art that we do.
Yeah.
I think that's all it is. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me in regards to how do you stay on top of trends? Photography is moving quite quickly at a quick pace. Is there also something that you follow actively in terms to be, how do you stay up with the trend?
I watch a lot of YouTube, Instagram, Behance, just to see the trends in the world, what's happening, where is the photography world and creative moving towards the future. How can I better myself to be a better photographer and be on top of my game? So I have to be constantly checking out new trends, how to better my skills, like do courses online type of stuff.
Are you a firm believer of that? Doing online courses, watching YouTube tutorials, upgrading yourself? Or are you a firm believer of go to college, study, learn for 3 years, and then you're a super professional photographer?
No, I believe in practice, man. Look at something, see how you can better it. Even when I do my shoots, I look at the end of the shoot, at the end of that I've done my delivery, I look at how could I have made this look better? And then I look at what equipment or what do I need for me to elevate myself and be on top of this. So those are the things that I look at. Okay. What is happening across the borders that we are not doing here.
Yeah, and also see opportunity in that, right?
Yeah.
That you can implement it into your work and maybe execute it here.
Yeah.
Actually, I have another question. When you started out with your portfolio work, right in the beginning, obviously there's a lot of talk around. When you start out as a photographer, everybody's like, you're just copying this guy. You're just copying this guy. Your skills look like this guy. I mean, yet to a certain fine line, there is that copy to get inspired, but at some point start finding your own little niche. What is your take on that?
I feel like every human being are different in their own ways. The way I see things is not the way you would look at something. For instance, the way I look at a bottle, I might see something different. The way I look into my viewfinder, it's not the same way you look at things. Even if you want to copy exactly what I do, it would never really look the same. So every person, every individual have their own style of things and their own style of thinking as well. And even in terms of perspective, how do you want to look at it? So I feel like, yeah.
But what would you suggest for someone who's starting out? Is that something, like do copy, practice, like you said also, you find inspiration in the internet, say it's Pinterest or another photographer that you follow, try and copy that. You will see that it will not look the same.
No, it won't. It will never look the same. So be inspired and then see how you can better aid yourself, how you can fine tune it to your own liking. Yeah.
Okay. That's something you most probably also did in the beginning. I think Tony was a big mentor to you, a big inspiration to get better.
Yes.
We had Laila Swanepoel on the podcast a few days ago, and she also had that sentence where she said, find someone in the industry who's a professional, work for free if he disallows you, come in, work for free. If you get paid, bonus to you, but then work with him for a few years and try to get better at him. Not to outdo him, but just to prove to the mentor you have learned a lot, and now you are as good as he, might even be better, and then you walk out of it. So take it in, all the skills you learned there.
No,
I guess that was something you also took seriously.
Very fortunate to be in that space, to be mentored by one of the best photographers in this country. I learned so much from him. I shadowed him for years. I've worked with him for about 10 years. And I've learned a lot.
10 years, crazy, that's long.
Yeah, a lot of what I know in terms of photography, I learned it from him, being on the ground, practicing, going on shoots with him, being his second shooter type of stuff. So,
when did you then actually stop working together, or when did you decide to make all your productions and reach out? Was that after the 10 years and it got a bit, maybe, I think Tony also downscaled a bit?
Yeah.
If I'm correct?
I think it was in 2014. I think the studio downscaled, moved to a smaller location. That's when I felt it was time for me to get on my feet and start doing it on my own. So,
but I think you gave yourself a grace period of almost 10 years.
Yeah.
So 10 years of observing, learning, practicing, meeting clients, still being the guy in the background. Even I remember that from my time, you would have this high-end corporate client that walks in, but you're just an assistant. They don't even greet you. You're just in the back in the corner. It's like, where's the photographer? Where's makeup artist? And then where's the art director? Great, everyone gets their stuff to say, but you're actually just the silent person in the background observing. Yeah. Try to learn and observe what's happening. You did that for almost 10 years, started from there. My next question on that is, did you immediately have a client, or how did you find your first clients?
In that process, from the 10 years, I had met a lot of people at the studio. So I had a lot of networks from there. So from there, when I left the studio, I already had a portfolio for myself. Yeah. I had a network of people that I knew, that I had worked with before, directly with me. So from there, what I started doing was I built a portfolio, a company profile of my company that I started. And then I started knocking on people's doors. I remember I printed about, I think, 10 company profiles and knocked on all of those doors. And I got clients. I think I got 3 clients that consistently have been giving me work. And one of the big corporations that I do work for now is Old Mutual, and still today I do work for them. Yeah.
Nessy, for someone starting out in a photography career, what advice would you give? Based on everything you told us right now, but what is the sweet story that I think advice-wise they should pay attention to?
They should just be patient, work hard, practice a lot, be humble, and money always follows after that, Just keep pushing for what you want. Be passionate about what you're doing. It's not always about money. It's about really just pushing and pushing, putting in the extra hours, and it will materialize afterwards. Yeah.
I love it. Thanks. I already have an intro for us. Okay, cool. I want to ask you just some other silly questions around business. So in regards to you being a full-time running a creative studio and also photographer. Do you use social media as a business tool? And what is your take on that and why?
Social.
I know personally you are not the biggest social media guy, but it's interesting for me. What is your theory still? Is it social media that you're running social media? Yes, I do it like to 10%, but more word of mouth in Namibia, that's what brings me my work. So how do you do your marketing in a way?
Social media, I'm hardly there. It's a platform that I have to be on there just to showcase here and there my work, what I'm capable of what I do. But most of my work and clients come from word of mouth. A lot of it.
Okay.
It's referrals from marketing offices to marketing offices. Really, I don't.
Whenever you do post on social media, which platform would you say is the go-to? Which one works the best for you?
LinkedIn works best for me.
Yeah. Actually, very interesting that because it's in a corporate space,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
So you use LinkedIn more than
Yes, yes,
Instagram or Facebook.
Yes. I'm into more of the corporate space, and a lot of corporates that I'm targeting are on LinkedIn, not on Facebook or Instagram, for instance.
Yeah.
Like all your headshots for
Do
CEOs.
Don't give me your secret recipe, but tell me a little side. How do you post on LinkedIn? Is there a specific method that you use, or it's just man? I just put up the portraits that I did, write some sentences, and that's it? Or do you put some smooth marketing lines in there as well?
No,
You're just the real guy.
I just put up what I have done, my capabilities, and where we can be reached, and what we can offer.
Okay,
Yeah.
100%. Tell me, in regards to then social media, do you interact with comments on it? Are you a firm guy who's like immediately on if you post something on Instagram or say now LinkedIn and someone sends a message, is that for you also already a go-to tool saying, oh, is there more interest sparking through the comments and you're actively checking those, or is just when I'm on there and when I'm posting, I'm checking inboxes as well?
So mostly, in terms of messages, I would direct them to my WhatsApp. It's rather if they can send me a WhatsApp directly, that's how I can instantly get to them.
On that, is WhatsApp for you a business tool that you would say is still the most powerful tool in terms of communication over phone call and email to make business in Namibia?
Definitely WhatsApp. Even if I'm not reachable on a phone call itself, on WhatsApp, I can literally be in a shoot or whatever, busy with, say, let me call you back in 5 or so.
Would you also say for Namibia, WhatsApp is still the tool to use when you want to do business?
It is.
What is your take on not TikTok? What's the new platform? Telegram.
Telegram.
Yeah. Have you experimented? Have you tried it already? Played with it a bit?
I played with a little bit. You can send content high res, but not a lot of people are aware of it. Not a lot of people are into it.
Yeah.
So
it's still a very new platform actually to Namibia. Too new, yeah. Cool. I'm actually a bit more interested also in regards to Instagram. What is your thoughts on Instagram as a photographer? Are you consuming it? Are you using it? Is it consuming you? For instance, Instagram Reels, or is that just more a thing where like I do upload, or I don't attend at all to it?
No, I consume a little bit of it just to have a look at trends out there, what's happening around the world. That's all.
Do you also follow competition on Instagram?
No.
Not? How do you actually deal with competition? Do you like to pay a lot of attention to it? Or is it like, good luck to them, great work that they did, I'm going to focus on my stuff?
Yeah, no, I don't focus on I don't take part in any competition and so forth.
Is that like a mindset thing that you do? So not follow them at all, just not be bothered by it?
I'm not just bothered by it.
Okay,
yeah.
Interesting. Can I ask, do you use Pay Today?
Yes.
Pay Today is an app,
yes, I do.
Firstly, to pay things.
I do.
I know you maybe heard the hooting here. Johnny was just here, the food truck. So he has Pay Today, for instance. I use it quite a lot. Is that something is convenient for you to use Pay Today as a payment method?
It is convenient for my Slowtown coffees.
Okay.
For my Windhoek City markets.
Can I ask, do you use it also so people pay you? Clients pay you?
No.
Have you ever thought about it?
Yeah.
Do you have any clients asked you about it?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not
Okay.
yet.
I think it's also why I'm asking this is for me quite interesting to see how well is Pay Today already adapted in our space as well. How many people do pay you? I heard from 2 wedding photographers that they often get paid via Pay Today for quick jobs. So obviously a wedding they would most probably do a big EFT, but for the small couple shoots and stuff, people would pay via Pay Today, which is quite interesting to see that technology is becoming more and more used by Namibians. But interesting that you haven't used it for your business yet. You're just paying with it. What's your thought on e-commerce in Namibia? I know it's a bit more in the tech space. You did say you ran an internet cafe, so you do have some knowledge about tech. E-commerce in Namibia, is that a go-to thing? Do you think the market is dead? Is it good to go into it right now?
I think us Namibians, we are still, still getting into it. We're not so sure if it works for us or not. People are still afraid of how this internet thing works and stuff. So people are still getting into it. So
Okay.
it's getting there.
Are you an internet shopper?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
So you shop online as well?
Yes.
And get stuff? Okay, it's
Yes,
interesting
yes,
because I
yeah.
think it will come actually more and more. More people start going online. It's just a payment method that we're all still scared about.
People are just scared about the payment method. I buy all my gear. I buy it online from the States, from South Africa. So everything is just buying online.
Okay, so you have trust in it, yeah. Tell me in regards to Chummy Bites and Tap a Meal. I don't know if you've ever used any of these platforms, but they're also app-based food delivery platforms. Do you use them?
Bites, I've heard of them, but I haven't used them before.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tap a Meal?
I haven't.
Okay, cool, interesting. I'll show you after the episode. I want to show you Tap a Meal because I'm quite a big sucker for it.
Okay.
Outside of the photography world and everything you do, what are you also passionate about?
Family. Cherish family. Whenever I have some free time, I would just like to spend some time with my family. Also enjoy Namibian landscape, just travel and take some beautiful photographs of our Namibian sceneries.
Tell me, how do you relax? Is that part of it?
Yeah.
Family?
Yeah. That's
Switching
part of
down,
it.
switch off your phone off. Do you maybe sometimes find yourself driving to remote areas in Namibia where you know there's no internet, there's no Wi-Fi, and you specifically drive to those areas because you are unreachable and you can relax and have time for family?
Yeah, I love that. Especially when I travel across the country, because I like to do that. That's one of my missions, to just get around, travel Namibia, see all the sceneries, switch off cell phones, and just enjoy the sunset, the sunrise, and just relax and read a book.
How do you deal with that pressure of constantly being available with clients? In a photographer situation, you have to be the dude who does the admin, the guy who checks the finances, the guy who does actually the work, the productions, answers every phone call, gets ranty clients, the whole deal. How do you deal with it? Do you have a certain philosophy that you do?
It's more like it's a time management thing. Because how I do it is every Monday I just focus on admin stuff, getting that out of the way Monday mornings. Afternoons I can do meetings and so forth. And from there, from my Tuesday, it's all being on location production. And then every morning I like to just do admin, afternoon meetings, and then the rest is just production.
How do you do your days with emails? Why I'm asking that is we had Christy van Sale from Graftobian on the podcast as well. She mentioned that in the morning she attends to her emails till like 9ish, the most important ones. After that, everyone must wait because she has to also work. If she sits from 8 and longer at the computer, she will still be there at 4 o'clock answering emails. So is that also something you tend to and say, guys, in the mornings, the quick ones I have to finish and the most important ones, and then I tend to the other ones later at afternoon? Or you a firm believer like I do, I run through all of them and finish them off?
I run through the main ones because I have to attend to them.
Yeah.
Like it could.
It is your money. It's your business. If you don't attend,
it is
you
my
lose
business.
jobs.
It is my business. So I have to attend to them. But I try not to. Once I'm focused in doing production work, I can maybe after 5, for instance, get back to it and just start sending out quotes, query replies, and all that. But I try to, when I'm focused on doing production work, that's what I'm focused to for that time.
How long do you take for quotes? Means like if I'm a client, Nessy, hi, I would like to book you next week. I have an event. Can you send me a quote? What is your theory on that? Like, how quick do you send it?
The quicker, the more chances of you getting the job. So if it's something that I know it can wait, maximum it's 2 days. But as soon as I do it now and it's out, that gets me the chance to get the job now.
Okay. What is your idea on cutting prices? Like, a client would come to you, and I think I can ask you this question because you're confidently now a few years in this industry. You're not just a newcomer after 2 years. So what I mean is, with a client approaches you and says, Nessy, I have a big production, but my budget is already this and this. What is your theory around that? And I know you don't want to be rude, but what is the honest theory for you?
But it really depends also on who the client is. Is it a once-off client or is it a long-term client?
Yeah.
So if it's a once-off client, I have fixed rates. So if they can't afford that, then that's it.
But you have, like you said now, if it's a long-term client, you work something out.
Yeah.
If it's a short-term client, I get you fully. Then this is the price, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
What I've noticed with you also is if you can't attend to a job, and that's what I love about you, you're always trying to find someone else who you can push it to. So saying, client, I can't assist you, but I have this guy for you. Maybe you guys can work something out. That's still something you do?
Yes, I like to do that. It's also just another thing of collaborating with creatives around each other, knowing that person A can do the job and I can vouch for him. By all means, let's work together. Let's all make money. If I'm not available, then I know I can give it to someone else to do it. Okay. That puts me in a position with the client that Nessy is trustworthy to work with. And
I wish actually that more people in Namibia, more photographers or more people that in the creative space have this mindset, because that's the feeling I get quite a lot in the last 2 years, that everyone is just hoarding the work for himself. So everyone is becoming more and more selfish, just wanting to keep the work for himself. Sad to see that that there are not more people thinking like you. I wanted to ask you another question in regards to lessons you've learned. So is there a biggest lesson you have learned in the last years of being a photographer? Any lesson that you've learned?
Lessons?
Yeah.
Just being humble. Be humble to people. Be hardworking. What else? Yeah.
I think the ego part. Put the ego back in your pocket.
Put the ego back and just be humble with people. Be super hardworking and it pays off.
Any new business ideas, ventures that you're doing now? You don't need to give me your juicy, sweet stuff, but is there anything down your pipeline where you say, just wait, guys, wait another year. I've got this new business idea, business venture in the photography space?
Business ventures, future ideas is just to expand my business, employ more young Namibian people, have a big creative space like this where creatives can just come together and do work together. We don't have to be contracted to be together, but just in a way that we can have a space like a creative hub, for instance, where we sit in one complex, for instance, where you get all your creative needs and you can get away with everything. Even if you are not available, anyone else in the space can be able to assist.
I think you have to check the next few podcasts. We're going to interview Tim from Dololo and Dubox. They are actually trying to actively pursue in such a direction. But I think it's more in regards to graphic designers, web developers, and so on. There's not yet a space like for photographers. But interesting, you have also that mindset. We also actively wanting to go into space like that.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll talk afterwards.
Yeah, that's idea.
I have another question again in regard to holy shit moment. I actually love this question. Is there a holy shit, this just happened in my career moment? There must be a sweet one. Was it not tempting when Gaza said, yes, design my new album? Or is there anything else here?
It's more like a setback. Um, my first camera that I had bought from Tony when I was just, getting into the industry, kind of growing my skill. And then one day at home, we had a few friends over, and the next morning I wake up and my camera was gone. That was like one of those, what do I do now? It cost me a lot to get, and it's gone.
Was it stolen? Or?
It was stolen from my house.
Oh, shit. Okay. How did you recover from that?
I had to work for another few years to invest in another camera. So I literally ended up having to rent cameras from other people.
Interesting that you did not give up at that moment, that you actually still stuck with it, hustled again to get your camera. Yes. But didn't you face quite a loss in business then as well? Yeah. Or at the first you were just like, okay, screw it, I just rent a camera, that's it, instead of just saying, I stop photography completely?
No, I didn't stop. I knew what I wanted to do, where I was going, and I wanted to badly grow in this industry, and I had to find another way to just elevate myself. Yeah. So
okay. Cool stuff. How did you adapt to the COVID-19 situation last year and still going on now? Is there anything where you had to change your business model a bit? Do different things, or is it still normal for you?
I was a bit fortunate enough, I think, for the lockdown period. I had a few jobs that I had done just before the lockdown happened. That kept me afloat for about 3 months. And then my graphic design skills kicked in, and I was surviving off that for a while.
Interesting. Yeah. So then you actually did that as a side job, not so much photography work anymore. Okay.
So it was bringing in more money than the photography. So
yeah, I think that's also the skill you have, right? Yeah. Because you have a few skills that you can swap and switch and change a bit. So if the photography doesn't pick up, you tend more to graphic design work. Yeah. Is also web development something you do, or is it just graphic design and photography?
Just graphic design. In terms of web development, I can do interfaces and then leave the coding to the experts to do it.
Actually, I quickly want to touch still base on, I know all your productions, I read also, you have also given me one of the pitches. You are not just a lone ranger, so to say. You have a team that works with you, but they're all freelancers, right? Yes. So they are not paid by you. They're not fully your employees. Yes. Tell me a bit about that. I love that mindset, actually, that you guys support each other. I know there's a makeup artist, there's an creative director. So tell me a bit about that.
So we are a team of about 4 people. There's my wife that helps me with admin and finance. There's Andrew from Namibia that helps with video productions. And then I have Ada that helps with makeup artists to make sure that my shots look good. Yeah.
I have to laugh now because Ada, she will come on the podcast very soon, I hope. And Ada wants to be in front of camera. So
I know she will.
Ada, if you're watching this, we'll
I know she will. No, but I just believe in collaborations as well. I can't be the photographer, the assistant, the makeup artist,
the jack of all trades, so to say.
Jack of all trades. I specialize in one specific thing, and other people also specializes in that. We work on one product and we polish it and we make it look good together collectively.
And again, quality is more key than quantity.
Yes, quality is more important.
I actually want to move quickly into a speed round. So that's just a quick yes or no answers. You can just a short liner, give me your thoughts on that. Quickly give me a rundown of a week, just a normal week, like Monday to Friday, but not in a long way, just like every day. What would it look like? On a busy month, say.
On a busy month? Monday, morning time, emails, afternoon meetings, and then post-production from there onwards. That's my Monday to Friday.
And in between still shoots, right? If you have shoots the whole time.
Yeah.
Cool. Tell me a bit more about a motto you live by in life.
Being patient, being kind, humble, and hardworking. And always about quality. Yeah.
What do you consume right now on YouTube? in your private time?
Vloggers, videographers, and photographers.
Okay.
That's what
How much do you sleep normal hours?
quite a few hours.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't sleep much.
Okay. How much do you working hours per day? On a busy day.
Working hours, 8. I sleep less. Yeah.
Okay. What do you attend? What's your go-to tool? Call, WhatsApp, or email? What is it the best, easiest for you?
WhatsApp.
Cool. Are you a sports gym guy? Are you working out? Are you the guy who says I have to go for my run every week, or you're like, nah, I'm not running?
I take jogs once a week. Yeah.
Cool. Do you have pets?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a little poodle.
Okay, cool. Does he come with you? Or you running alone?
He likes to come with me.
Okay. He's like, take me out. Yeah. Cool. Do you follow friends on social media or more business people?
It's more business. For social, I focus more on business.
Okay. If you could ask or say anything to our viewers, what would it be?
What would you like to see from me or to hear from me?
Anyone that you can suggest for sessions? For another podcast here? I know there's Ada already.
Definitely Ada and Andrew from Namibia.
Cool. Yeah. And then also you still get to ask the question of the day to our viewers.
How long will it take to get drone transport in Namibia?
Drone transport. What is actually your thoughts on drone, the new legislation and the new licensings? I don't know if you're so much into it.
I saw it. The legislation is a bit too heavy on us at the moment. We're just getting into the space of the drone future, but now it's like I wanted to invest in a drone myself, but because of the legislation and the laws, it's a bit too heavy for me. So, yeah.
Okay. So you're not right now into it?
Not right now.
Cool. Actually, I wanted to ask just a last piece of advice you would give to our listeners. If you want to become a photographer, what are you setting yourself up for?
Excitement, freedom to express yourself in a way that you feel like doing. Just humbling yourself and practicing and practice and just learn, and that's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was a quick. It doesn't feel like it, but it is.
I've never spoken so long.
But Nessy, cool. Thanks so much, man, for coming on the podcast today. Thanks so much for talking and just getting a bit of an insight of who you are. I think for all you guys who are following and still listening, check down below. I'll link everything to all your productions. Also, I don't know if you have a personal profile.
I do.
Yeah, you do?
I do.
Please do give it to me because I've also not found it yet. And then I'll link it down below in the description and you guys can all check it out. Nessy, thanks so much for coming. I really enjoyed talking to you. And yeah, let's have a coffee, please.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
Lovely.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.